Hey guys, I thought it was time to delve back into the rapid pool and not just try and sit on my rating of 1609, but try and push ahead if we can towards that 1700. So let's continue the road to 1700. When I've been hitting that kind of level very frequently in my other games, but playing against beginners and so forth. Okay, so we've got a Vienna. I'm going to go main line. I'm expecting f4, and we'll see what we get. So after pawn takes, we have knight takes, and then the trendy move right now is queen f3. Okay. So, what's the situation? Well, I've got an advanced knight in my opponent's half of the board. He's probably going to want to take off that knight. I am lacking a central pawn at this point. So, I have the option to mess up his pawn slightly. I think b takes makes the most sense, but that can give him now quite a strong central pawn structure, which obviously I've seen lots of times. Bishop out makes a lot of sense. If knight takes, I capture with my pawn, I'm then attacking the pinned piece. He's then going to have to... It's either going to play h3 to counterattack, or he's going to block with his bishop. Either way, I think he's okay. A natural looking move is d4. That's interesting, but it does hang my knight. So, I don't know what the correct move is here to play. I don't see any reason to use my move to initiate a trade of knights, really. I feel like I ought to be developing. This is not under attack. This could fall to a bishop pin. So I'd rather meet that with c6 if he wants to bring his bishop out there. So how about this? It's developing. So his bishop hasn't really got a good home here. d3 is just in everyone's way. Opponent is rated 1627 from Germany. Alright, we have d4. Okay, so there's still tension between the knights, which I think I'm comfortable with. I could develop this bishop and pin the knight and prepare to castle. No bad thing. Long castles is also a possibility in this situation. Knight c6 again can be met with a bishop pin, and then I'd have to undevelop this bishop to break the pin if I wanted to. So knight d7. If he pushes, I can just take. Knight d7 is interesting. What about c5 as well? c5 immediately contesting this d4 pawn. c5, if he should take, I get free development. I've then got 3 pieces developed. That's pretty good. If he doesn't take, I probably will. And then I'm capturing towards the centre. Because right now he's got these 2 central pawns. I feel like that's an idea. What the problem with c5 is it means I can never play c6 if he wants to throw his bishop at me. But then I can always block that with my knight. So I'm going to try this move. Just on the principle that you really don't want to allow your opponent to grab the center for nothing. Okay. So I'm feeling takes. And then let's say bishop takes, right? I mean, he might take with the queen, but then I have this, I think. But if the queen's on there, there's 2 attackers on this pawn, right? So what I'm thinking is then, if I take this knight, now if he takes bishop or queen, I take the knight, he can capture backwards with bishop or queen. What I'd like to do is to make him take here and have doubled isolated pawns and a doubled A pawn. I can't see a way of doing that right now. If I take, say queen takes, he has got two attackers on this pawn here. I might need to move that bishop back. Knight c6 now. We have an increment. So the point is I should be using a good chunk of my starting 15 minutes in the opening, and I should be using a good chunk of it in the middle game as well. And that's a clue to how to maximize your performance, I think, in a rapid, like a 15+10. Here again, he just takes here. I take, he could take with the pawn. He's just reinstated it. He's promoted his B pawn to a D pawn. Pointless. I could push. There's a bloody thought, and we could just clog up the centre. Make life really hard for his bishop. And make life harder for his queen. That is a thought. So I've stopped my idea of contesting the centre and just decided to counter it with a queenside lock. This is still defended by my queen, only. This now is so I've got nothing to worry about this bishop coming out. I have created myself a backwards pawn though, which could prove to be a liability. I might end up dropping this bishop back and making it a tall pawn. Do not enjoy playing against the Vienna, never have. It is a vicious little opening. Cooper. Out. Alright, we have A3. Can't meet it with B5. A3 is a funny one. So you want to prevent bishop B4, I guess, is all I can think. So now my bishop can't go there, there, or there. This is possible with short castles. We have one closed file. This is kind of closed right now. Knight out is a possibility. That's a flexible move. Knight to here, I'm not sure where its prospects are from there. We haven't made life easy for ourselves in this opening few moves. Everything's still on the board. We have ourselves a position. I don't see any point in trying to fianchetto this bishop right now. I think we're going to be biding our time. I think it's going to be something like this, short castles. The move actually h6 is also a thought here, because he's got knight and bishop looking at g5 potentially, but so let's say I play bishop here, he plays bishop there. No, it doesn't work because I've got two pieces attacking. So I think I'm going to play bishop e7, castles. I'll keep h6 in my pocket, because right now his knight, neither his knight nor his bishop can come in there, because I also have two eyes on that same square. In fact, three. What am I talking about? Got a queen as well. So we have good control over this kind of kingside key square here. He does have these advanced pawns. I'm on 9 minutes, but I'm not far off now completing development, and I don't think that I've created a huge weakness yet. So he could always trade knights, but so could I. if I want to open up this side of the board, for example, I have this. Do you want to long castle? Let's just explore queen here. He long castles. I take knight, pawn takes, bang. That's not good. Queen a5 now. Come on. Let's have a think. It pins this knight. He can't do nothing. If he does this, I can just drop back. And now I can capture en passant. There. That's possible. Takes. I don't know. I can't think of any other reason for him to doing this, but he can't move his queen sideways because my knight guards everything, right? So I'm seriously thinking queen a5 here. I threaten to take, fork, and that's just horrible. Yeah, I can't see a serious weakness there. The knight can't move. It's in an absolute pin. So what's he going to do? Defend the knight again. This. Queen's defending this pawn as well. I notice I've got bishop land over that pawn. Oh man, positional chess. And tactics. There we go. Now, notice that the queen no longer defends c2. If I take the knight, he's going to capture with the bishop with tempo. I could just drop back here and attack the b pawn. But then I'll probably just push and then attack this, which is... Also notice that now that he's broken the pin, this now also then becomes a potential discovered attack. So maybe knight here. If his knight takes there, it doesn't work because I capture the queen. Knight goes here or here, doesn't work because I capture with the queen. So I think we develop now. Oh, hang on. He's got knight takes knight, discovered attack on the queen. That's not good. That's not good at all. So do I just drop back here? No, because that hangs this pawn. Do I need to drop all the way back to d8? Maybe. I can't see anything else. But I did force him to undevelop this bishop slightly, right? What does that mean? It means this pawn's only defended once now. I'm not even attacking it, so it's not too much of an issue. But knight c6 will attack it, if that comes. But I'm down to 7 minutes. Thinking a7, b6. Start to push up on the queen side, in case he has aspirations of long castling. He also has a hook in the form of a3 on the queen side, which could be exploited in the case of long castles. Still feeling a bit sensitive about this backwards pawn on d5. Knight takes a recapture of the bishop, targeting this undefended pawn. Opponent's only used 3 minutes of his clock. I've used more than 7.5. But that's fine. It's kind of part of my discipline now is to try and use my time, try and use more of my time, do more thinking as much as I can in the time available. Okay, knight's the only defender of this. Knight c6 will attack it. He is a little bit, you know, there's a real melee going on in the middle, but it's kind of blocked up. We have this permanent knight tension. This bishop's not good yet, and doesn't really have any prospects. as things stand. I have a weak backwards pawn by virtue of overextending on the c-file. And we have long castles, boys and girls. Wow, 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 wow. Wowzers, trousers. I'm surprised. I'm not unpleasantly surprised, though. Okay, I'm thinking knight develops is no bad thing, generally. That puts king there, rook there. I'd love to put pressure on this pawn here. Don't really know how. Also, my queen. Maybe I just need to eradicate this pawn so that my queen can go to. No, I want my queen behind the bishop, don't I? I'm not going to sack my queen for a bloody pawn. Okay, I'm just going to develop now. I might even long castle myself. I don't know. I mean, this bishop has prospects down this way, but I mean, h6 can always just shut the door on that. Keep the bishop out and the knight out, but I mean, no, I don't even need that. I mean, I've still got triple eyes on the g5 square, so we're okay there. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this of white long castling, really. Especially with having the hook pawn on a3, I don't know, it just feels like he's weakened his position. And look where, like, a lot of his stuff feels like it's over this side of the board as well, you know, rather than. So there's not much actually there to defend these pawns. Like the king is the only defender of that. The king is actually the only defender of that as well. c2. I think getting a pawn to b4 is like a key here. I can't play that immediately. Maybe castle. Get the queen up somehow. Get this rook from f8 to b8, and then just plow on and try and bust open this a file. Okay, you want to bring your bishop around here. You don't want to lift the rook. What are you doing? Bishop here doesn't work. I've got two eyes on it. Okay, castles. Queen has to defend this right now. Remember. There. That might be the quickest way, actually. a6, b5, b4. If takes, knight takes, or bishop takes. Bishop's actually doing a bit of a job over here, though, as well. So this knight isn't really doing a job, so it might be this knight that takes, yes? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. He's starting to use his bit more time now. He blitzed out his first few moves. But he's used, minute 20, 50... No, that was me. He's used 2 minutes, 2:03, and then 1:42 on his last two moves. We're making him think. Which gives me joy. So he's now down under 9 minutes on the clock. I'm 6.5, but remember we've got an increment. So the point of all of this is to get to a winning position where the increment then takes over from the kind of default clock. So a6, b5, b4 takes, knight takes. Threatened to take out his knight, maybe check stuff, I don't know. Maybe not take out his knight, I don't know. Could always eliminate this. Okay. I'm not scared of this, I'm just going to drop it back into the pawn chain. Okay, those two moves I've actually earned myself 15 seconds. Okay, right. Oh, I'd love to have gone there. So I'm gonna throw in b5 now. If I can nudge this away, maybe he's going to take with the bishop and I can get a cheeky queen rook fork. No, I can't. Oh, what am I talking about? It's the same knight that I want to trade off and then fork with. Now he's using more time. I'm not sure he's got enough on this king side. He's got no f-pawn and he's not got a rook on the f-file or anything severe. So it's not a typical kind of Vienna style attack. Normally in the Vienna you do castle short and get a rook on f1, which then helps support this. But right now this semi-open f-file isn't really arguably serving him in any way. Okay. Wow. He's got 3 on this. If I push, I just lift and lift. If he takes, I take, knight takes, bishop takes, I get my fork. Knight can't come there. Knight comes back here, I'll probably push on. I'm really still eyeing up this, which would be lush. I mean, having said that, that's a really good knight here. Wow. Wow, you've just opened. Ooh. There. Takes. Everyone dies. It just feels like a no-brainer, right? The only issue is, do I have enough material over that side to make this attack stick? Let's think it through. There, takes. Let's assume everyone dies. Right? So after pawn, takes. I'm a pawn down. No, but his knight hangs. No, I'm just going to do it. Sod it, I'm just going to do it. He's on 7:40. I'm on just under 6 minutes. But I can't see any. I'm even pre-moving the recapture. This is so different to the Blitz I've been playing recently. It's a different bloody sport. Okay, and we've pre-moved the recapture. He can't take with the pawn here, by the way. This pawn is actually pinned because the knight hangs, right? Therefore, no, knight takes. Wow, okay, this merits some thought because I still have the threat of this. But I can take with either piece. Which is the piece to take with? I don't know. Which is my worst piece? Thinking maybe the bishop. I think this knight could prove to be quite the evildoer. So I'm taking with the bishop. If his bishop comes off that mark, I still have this. So that's I think his issue. Now I have rook a1 check. Forces king c2 or no, king d2 is out because of the knight. Okay, rook here check. This is forced. Then I'd love to do this, but I can't because of this knight. Is there anything we can do about that knight there? Or do I just try and get my queen on the a file? I can't stick her right here for now. Can't do this because that just loses a piece. There's no real value in that, and this knight could be absolutely instrumental. Let's revisit this. There's got to be something in this, right? I'm just going to stick my queen here. So I've got ideas of maybe this. I've also got ideas of just 2 attackers on there. I've also got 2 attackers on here. It is defended twice. But you've got to like black here, right? This has to be good. What about even c3? Let's even consider c3. takes. No, he just repairs his pawns. It's pointless. But this is a major threat. What the hell was that? Knight takes here. That's checkmate. So knight takes here, bishop must take. I think he wants to do that. Knight takes here, bishop takes, check. He has that. He's just taken a defender off this as well. So I actually also have knight takes d5, which is a major threat. Or this first, then that, then knight takes d5. He has to trade his rook. That's impossible. That, though, this is forced, yes? Then knight here, or here. Okay. Knight here, I'm attacking queen and king. He has to trade the rook. But if I do this first, queen takes, I take. Okay, 4 minutes, plenty of time. Here he can just sack the bishop off, and I'm kind of out of checks, right? This is the key move. I don't want to give him time to liquidate that bishop. Here, rook must take, I take. I've got a rook on the back rank. I am slightly running lower on the clock, but it is also critical. He's in check. This is just forced, right? And now, I mean, I could have calculated my way through this. I'm up an exchange. I've got a poor bishop, which is a tall pawn. But on the plus side, he's got a bad knight here. His pawns are in tatters. Doubled isolated, and a fairly toothless pair over there. Excuse me, damn this cough. This rook over, something like this and that, or even just this and that. If bishop takes here, I think I'm going to take with the pawn. I don't see any reason to trade off queens. Do you? No. Interesting. I could just drop the queen out. I could take with the knight, but it's such a good knight. However, he's got the option to eliminate that knight at will anyway. But I also have this move. I would love to do that. But if I move my queen away, he's gonna eliminate this, right? Here, you take my queen, I take your queen. And I still keep my good knight. Oh, hang on. Oh, there's also a threat of that. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, my rook's hanging. Cock. Oh. I have to take the bishop, counterattack the queen. He hasn't got time to take that. He's got to save his queen. And crikey, I don't know. Look at this though. I mean, that is one that gives me some comfort. Safe king in the corner, relatively safe king. Right, I'm on 3 minutes. His queen is on prise. His queen has to move. Okay. Now, we still have this issue. If I go there, he takes, I take, he wins my rook. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy differed from the Encyclopedia Galactica in two important aspects. One, it was slightly cheaper, and second, it featured the words "Don't panic" in large friendly letters on the cover. Alrighty then. This, again, doesn't work. Queen takes, I have to recapture, I lose my rook. Okay? I take queen, pawn takes queen. I have a check with the bishop, doesn't do anything at all. I also have the option to pair up my rooks, which I think is a good thing. But how do I make that work? I don't know. Right? What do we have here? If I take this, I just lose my rook. I'm still up in exchange. So this has, I think this has to be, I'm down to 2 minutes, okay? We're going to have to trade queens off. All right, my hunch is now this, and try somehow win by force. I have the 2 rooks. It's just operation don't cock it up, you muppet. Bad bishop here, but also his knight is not fantastic either. I might push g6, give my king an escape square, just control light squares here. His bishop doesn't have many good options. That is poor because I've got this with check, pinning effectively the bishop and the rook to each other. I don't know what you call this, but it very often happens I've got a back crank with a rook and a knight or a rook and a bishop. Well, that's kind of a no-brainer. If I trade off one of my rooks for his rook, I'm in a very good position. And look, we're doing exactly what we set out to do in a 15+10, which is to use your time, get low on the clock with a winning position. I have a winning position. I'm up in exchange, and I have better pawns. So now we get to the business end. Now we knuckle down. Notice the king cannot get off the back rank, right? Neither can the rook. It's only got one move. Rook h2 just drops the rook. So there's nothing he can do now, except, well, okay, I don't see any reason not to trade the rooks off. My king might come over to this side of the board. I'd love to engage my bishop. It's a bit useless right now, and it's not even doing anything to prevent this promotion of this pawn. What about this? And try and just win the pawn. But I think taking the rooks off, I can't see any problem with that. I put my rook on b8, right, once his rook is off the board. Now he's got this or this. Now I do have maybe this. Let's consider. And from there, he's got to go to this square, right? So if I go here, he's got to go there. Then I come back. There, rook back here. He moves. No, forget it. Just take out the thing. Simplify. Keep it simple, stupid. Right, how do you defend that pawn? Answer, you don't. This is getting to be a resignable position. Close, but he's going to fight on. I'm still considering pawn to g6 to try and make trouble for this knight. Drive it back. This is going to come with check as well. I also then have a passed pawn. This pawn is actually effectively pinned because if it moves, I might snatch h3. I'm sorely tempted to take, but the problem is it hangs that. Now, is there a problem with this? You give check. No. In fact, I've just checked him anyway, so I can just drop back here. I might just stick my king on a dark square just for keep life simple. I think he's the one that's going to have to be really munching on his clock now. Seriously, man. Now my rook defends this, so do I just want to eradicate the knight? I've got a good feeling about it. There. What's best in an ending like this? Not sure I love my bishop. Is it serving a purpose as a tall pawn? Do I just want to hit the knight? Comes here. I go there. Let's do that plan. He's got a couple of checks. That's fine. I just move towards the knight. He's down to 4 minutes. I've got 1:28, so I need to be playing my moves in less than 10 seconds on average to get this, to convert this. I like the fact that my weak pawn here, which has been weak since the start, since we overextended the c pawn, but it is defended twice. It is, however, forkable. So I need to be a bit careful there. But how does he get to the forking square? He can't go to that forking square. There's, always two squares, usually two squares if they're towards the centre. Okay, I think I've just got this. And I think you've just imprisoned your own knight, haven't you? Eh? You have. You move that, you lose a pawn, but... Come on. I did it against Michelangelo today. No, I'm not moving. I'm not giving you a way out. Operation, don't do anything stupid. This hits the bishop. To defend the pawn, the bishop has to go there. Doesn't really do anything. This threatens to win the bishop. And your knight now is out of the game. Can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. Pawn takes, can't go there. Even if I push this, that prevents the advance of g4. He's got h4. I just simplify, take it off. And my bishop is doing a very good impression of a pawn. I don't mind this. All right. I attack you. Yes, I attack you. I threaten this. He just took 46 seconds. You can't keep doing that. Really, really, really happy with my use of the clock in this game. But what I need to do, what I need to avoid now, is going back to sneeze, is getting overexcited. Okay, that drops the pawn, yeah? And I'm attacking the knight. And now I've just pinned the bishop. This doesn't work, unfortunately. But the bishop is pinned. I have a check, maybe? No? That. And king can't take. The king has to defend the bishop, which means going to one of these squares. There. King moves. I take, takes, here, here. No. That doesn't work. Okay, so I'm just going to go here. Right, the knight is still kind of stuck in. If the knight moves, I think I might just rub it out. Seriously. I think then my king will come up somewhere, I don't know. That pawn then becomes a major target, actually. In fact, how do you defend that pawn now? What if I do this? Why didn't I do that? How do you defend this pawn? That is the only move. Bishop can't. King's too far away. This move, which I should have probably... Oh, hello. Right, I'm having that. Because then after bishop recaptures, I have this. And I'm going to win bishop or pawn. I'm on 137. He has another minute, but that minute is not going to do him any favours. It's not going to be enough. Right? Okay, okay. All right, calm down. Calm down. Okay, we've got a hanging pawn here. Can't check him there. This, if you take that, I do this. I might even trade the rook for the bishop. So, okay, so I'm threatening that anyway. All right. Bishop's going to take. I'm still actually a pawn up. The promotion square is a light square on that H file. My king wants to come up just here, I think. Okay. This is the important pawn here. But right now it's kind of pinned. If it moves, I will consider trading down. Because all I need is to promote a single pawn. Now his pawns are connected. What if f6? Okay, so he's now guarding the promotion square. If this, and he pushes, don't know. Let's just push this one. This check is on. I'm on 153, he's on 237. I want to keep everything on the dark squares. If this and he pushes, I'm worried about this pawn advancing and displacing my king. So I don't really want to encourage his pawns to move forward at all. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I can't go on that square. I can go here. This pawn makes a move, it's snatched off. Maybe that's the better square, seeing as it defends this pawn. I can always go back there. See, the difference here is my rook can visit every square on the board and can get to all of them pretty quickly. His bishop is limited to only 32 of them out of 64, which is exactly 50%. All right. I'm going back here. If I push the king forward, he can't move this pawn because then I take there, right? Need to avoid a draw under the 50 move rule. The last capture was bishop takes c4 on move 45, so we've only had 6 moves since then. So I think we can force something through before then. f6 is a thought. If takes, then he's only got the one pawn left, and they're split up, right? I'm on 208, he's now on 1:40. What are you going to make happen? You push that, you lose a pawn. Okay, now the king is actually quarantined also on the first 2 ranks. So he's got to do everything with these now, because he cannot dislodge that rook. There's nothing he can do. His bishop really has to guard there. The issue right now is that this pawn is defending my rook, which is what's keeping the king there. Now here, you've got a major problem, right? You go there, I go here, and what have you got? You know, you're dead. I think this is resignable. Okay, so king here, I'm attacking the bishop. It's really the d6 square, because now this pawn cannot move. The king can't protect it because the king is quarantined. Bishop goes here. And now I might even just threaten to take it out with that. But do we need to? Do we need to? So I've got like this idea. If I take bishop takes, king takes, it's got to be winning. But 2 pawns on The edge, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to come around here. Sticking on the dark squares. Let's figure this out. Okay, so let's say I go here, there takes, my king's on there. His king comes in. I go to here, right? His king comes here, I go to here. Now he's got a serious problem. He cannot ever, in fact, no. I sacrificed the g-pawn. Because the king can't take it. Because otherwise Harry runs away. Harry Runs Away is the title of a children's book, isn't it? If I take out that now, takes, here, no, doesn't work. I also had this with the idea of pushing the bishop. Okay, let's throw in a check. You can't go here. No. Here. Takes. Here. Okay. Hit you again. Still need to calculate trading there. Right, it's not going to work. This might though. I do have g4, forcing the bishop to move back here, right? Probably go in the corner. And then I move forward to another dark square. Well, nothing to stop me doing that right now. This pawn, you know, I'm just going to cling to that like a limpet. Here, actually, no, the king's got this. Check. King can't go there because... Let's try this then. King's in check. Because he can't go there because he loses the bishop. So he's got to stick to the bishop, right? Then what if I attack the bishop again? This, I attack the bishop. Where does it? It can only go here, I think. Here or here. If it goes there, the pawn's lost, so he's got to go in the corner. Now if this king moves, I take, king takes, I take, I think is, oh, hang on, I had g3 and that was mate, wasn't it? Okay, takes. There, back here. Let's try this again. There, he's got two moves. Right, now this is, and now we have a checkmate threat. To avoid checkmate, you have to play king here. But then this, and you have to come here and I win the bishop. Oh, okay, right, that's also an idea. Okay. Check. No, hang on. That's not an idea at all. The only legal move now is bishop blocks and then I take there and it's mate. Wow. That's what we have to do. All right, quick look at the game review. We're just going to take a summary because it's draining stuff. But that was a fight. 80.4. Very exciting time. 80.4. Happy with that. and I played like a 1750. I knew it. I know I can play like a 1750. My opponent did not play that well. Neither of us handled the opening terribly well, but I'm not going to go over that right now. The point is, white was never really better. I made 2 mistakes, no misses, no blunders in the whole game. I will take that. The road to 1700 continues. We are now 1617. And I need a rest. Okay, good one. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.